Good evening, my fellow Toastmasters and guests. I'm not aware how many guests there are, but probably have a couple on here. Before we get started, all of you should have been prompted to acknowledge that this meeting is being recorded. Second here. And as we get started for another fascinating meeting, I'm going to ask again for everybody to do their best to avoid all distractions. And now let's continue with our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And before I actually pass this over to Shastri, I did want to say happy birthday to Mark, whose birthday was yesterday. I don't know if he's in the meeting, but now I passed the meeting back to Shastri.
Oh, my thing is a little dark today. Can you guys hear me? Hello?
We hear you.
We can hear you.
Okay, perfect. Yes, my phone is a little finicky today. All right, welcome. Glad to be here for another wonderful Monday night meeting. I see your beautiful faces, welcome guests, and any dignitaries in the audience. All right, so I'll do two things. First, I will recite our mission statement, and secondly, I will acknowledge our guests. So our mission statement states, it is to provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence. I'd like to introduce one guest, Woodland. Hey man, how are you doing today?
Doing great. How are you?
Very good. What made you join us again?
To improve my communication skills.
Are you gonna join?
Yeah, sometime soon.
All right. Well, you gotta jump head first, man.
All right.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Woodland. Without any further ado, it's now 7 o'clock. I call this meeting to order. I'll now introduce our Toastmaster of the day, Jack Miller.
Hello, fellow Toastmasters, and happy Monday. As Toastmaster of the day, I serve as your master of ceremonies for the benefit of our guests and new members. A traditional Toastmaster ceremony has three functions: formal speeches, table topics, and evaluation. Today, I'm going to call on some of our speakers, or today, I should say, today's word of the day is reverence. And I'm going to call on Toastmaster Stacy for our invocation. Did I see your name? I didn't write that here. I'm sorry, Toastmaster Ray Melendez.
I was going to say.
Yeah, you signed up for that. I got something mixed up. I got the rest of it written down, not that part.
No worries. I could play Stacy for a day. Every minute you are angry, you lose 60 seconds of happiness. Ralph Waldo Emerson. I'm going to tell you a quick story. A few years ago, I had just picked up my car at the shop, getting the alternator replaced. And I drove the car around. That night, I actually went to go pick up my daughter at a friend's house. And on the way back, the alternator died. I was angry. I was angry because I was stuck, because it started to rain, because my towing service took 5 hours. And after a while, I realized that being angry was not going to help me resolve the issue. It was not going to help my wife who was missed me, my daughter, or even myself. We run into these situations and do not realize that anger just brings us discomfort, sorrow, and misery. Remember that after the rain comes the sun. So enjoy life. and try to be happy. Toastmaster of the day.
Very good, thank you. That reminds me of something I read yesterday in the book, The Untethered Soul, where he talks about mind is the cause of all your problems. And I thought it was such an interesting statement because it's the way you choose to look at a situation that is either going to make you happy or make you sad, and it's all up to you. You've got to control it. Thank you very much. Now I'd like to call on some of our participants in this program. First, I'm going to call on Brendan McCauley as grammarian. Excuse me, grammarian. Can you tell us your role as grammarian, Brendan?
Yes, thank you, Toastmaster. One of the benefits of Toastmasters is that it helps people improve their grammar and word use. Being grammarian provides an exercise in expanding listening skills. I have several responsibilities to introduce new words to members, to comment on the language used during the course of the meeting, and provide examples of eloquence. The word of the day I've chosen is faith. So faith is a noun. It is to completely trust or have confidence in someone or something. An example of that would be faith and courage were the only things that would get them through this darkest hour. So I encourage anyone speaking during any part of the meeting to use faith, our word of the day. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Brendan. Very good. Toastmaster Ray Melendez, can you tell us your role as our counter?
Toastmaster of the day. The purpose of the odd counter is to know any word or sound used as a crutch by anyone who speaks during the meeting. During such words such as ah, and may be inappropriate interjections. We will play the following sound. Second here. Find it. Oh. I've lost my sound, but I'll have it ready. When we hear the interjections, you will hear a sound. You'll hear the bell you usually hear. Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Melendez.
Oh, there you go.
Okay, we got it. That's been a challenge for quite a while now, so let's hope we got it nailed this time. I believe if anybody can do it, you can. Ray, you've been right there every single week since you joined doing something, and we're so proud and honored to have you with us.
Thank you.
Toastmaster Justin Gwynn, can you tell us about your role as general evaluator or general timer?
Of course, Toastmaster of the day. I'm responsible for monitoring the time of each speaker. I operate the timing signals to indicate the speech timing of each link. Timing begins with the first definite or nonverbal communication with the audience. As general timer, whomever is speaking and has control of the meeting, please pay attention to this red card, which means you need to quickly wrap up where you are as quickly and professionally as possible. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Justin Gwynn. And now we would like Toastmaster and for our general evaluator, Sujana Tuladar. Is that how I say it?
Tuladar.
Say it?
Tuladar.
Tuladar.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. If one thinks of a club meeting as a project, then think of the general evaluator as a quality control manager. I will be commenting on the overall flow of today's meeting and giving feedback. Thank you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Tuladar. I'm terrible with names. Sujana. Okay, the next part of our meet is formal speeches, which are prepared speeches based on specific projects in our communications manuals or the Pathways program. This evening we have one speaker. Unfortunately, one of our speakers has taken ill, my beloved Connie, and she's not going to be speaking today. But we do have our beautiful Toastmaster Stacy speaking. So before we call her up, I'm going to ask for our evaluator, Micheline Nemhard. Can you please tell us what our speaker is going to be talking about?
Sure. Good evening, Toastmasters, guests, and dignitaries. Toastmaster Stacy will be speaking. Her length of her speech is 5 to 7 minutes, and the speech title is The Power of Gratitude. The objective of this speech, the member has to present a speech on any topic, receive feedback, and apply the feedback to a second speech. Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Micheline.
Toastmaster Jack Miller, I replied to your message earlier. I can give a speech if you are in need of another speaker.
Okay, we have an evaluator. So Shay, you will do the evaluation then on the next speech. So thank you. I didn't catch the email back.
I will try to go in and do my part, Shay.
We're always honored to have you speak with us, Hoyne. So, or hi on.
Thank you.
Again, I'm terrible at pronunciations. Okay, tonight Stacy will be showing you what's possible in anchoring the power of gratitude. Stacy, alongside her husband Mark, are thought leaders in this industry. They are online courses and creators for couples and individuals looking forward to diving into the depths of effective and compassionate ways to communicate, rebuild trust, coupled with living your extraordinary life. We're all looking forward to it. Here, a round of applause for Stacy Kessler. There you.
If we want to live an extraordinary life, becoming impeccable with our word, leading in our lives to be, do, and have the things that most people won't, the moment you feel grateful, the moment you feel abundant, you are now teaching your body chemically to understand what your mind is able to intellectually understand. Knowledge is for the mind, and experiences are for the body. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters, honored guests, and dignitary. I am incredibly elated to share that the philosophies and experiences in my own life personally are aligning with science, studied by the top doctors, neuroscientists, and the most elite and prestigious universities in the world. What has been referred to as woo-woo or eye-rolling weird is now backed up by science, and gratitude is where it all begins. Listen closely as I share this empowerment message for you as we dive into where science meets mindfulness. This is a meditative process that I use every day, allowing in trust, faith, and inner peace. As we embody the truth of this philosophy, that signaling new genes in the body are changing our genetic future. Knowing that when you do something once and you condition your mind to create new patterns and habits, you can create new disciplines to wake up every day and do it over and over again. As you keep repeating these new disciplines, you neurochemically condition your mind and your body to begin to work as one. And in the consistency of the new habit repeated over and over, this conditions the body to know how to do it better than the mind. And now it's innate in you. It's organic. It's easy. It's familiar. It becomes who you are. We are now stepping into a new level of optimizing self and stepping into our greatness. I ask you as an audience, who are you and who do you wish to become? What power have you given to someone else or something else? Take a moment and maybe write those questions down. Who are you and who have you given your identity to? What power have you given to someone or something else? Are you ready to shift your thoughts into gratitude? Shift your internal paradigm and begin to feel gratitude running through every cell of your body. Most of us here in this audience have gone through the stage of being little boys and little girls, listening, observing, and most becoming what we have been told we are or we're not, what we can and cannot do, what we should do, what we should not do. We then become adults and are utilizing the brain. The brain only knows what it's learned in the past. The body and the organs only know what it has experienced in the past. Until we change our mindset, we are living the same day every day in the past, past thoughts that triggers our bodies, and it feels in the body different than what it feels like in the future. Our gift is the present, becoming to live your life in mastery, knowledge, wisdom, mind, body, soul, unlearning it with your head and applying it with your hands, and being in the knowing in your heart, knowing it by heart. It's time to wake up in the morning as though your prayers have already been answered. Begin living in the freedom, truthfully trusting the process, feeling that whoever is your Holy Spirit, you feel that spirit inside of you. Your body knows no different. The problem is that our senses fool us into separation. If you say, I want to be healthy, I want to be healed, I want to be wealthy, and imagine it, see it, feel it, when you come back from that space and it's not there because you can't see it, you don't feel it, and the wealth is not there yet, the thought of your future creates the emotion of lack or separation. And because our thoughts are the language of the brain, the feelings are the language of the body. You now have the mind and the body in opposition. So if you think about something like appreciation or gratitude, gratitude when you are receiving something, when you just receive something, when something is happening to you in the moment, or something just happened to you that you were super excited about, you organically feel this emotion of gratitude. So gratitude becomes the language that your body is now feeling. Gratitude is the ultimate state of receivership. As I shared with you earlier, the body doesn't know the difference between the past, the actual experience, or the future. So when you embody and have a clear intention of your future, this creates a space that you have now opened in your heart. And you feel the emotion of the future. The body doesn't know the difference between the actual experience and the life that's creating the emotion. And the emotion that you are imagining by your thoughts alone in that very moment. Your body is believing it's in the future, in that present moment. And the stronger the emotion you feel, the more altered you feel inside, the more focus on the picture in your mind. Science shows us that. You are beginning to remember your future biologically. It's the same as remembering the past. My invitation to you is to keep practicing opening up your heart and combine it with a clear intention. Then organically, the thought and the feeling change your state of being. If you practice this every day over and over, in time, you'll feel like your future has already happened. Fellow Toastmasters, it's been an honor. Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Stacy Kessler. Awesome, educational, and fun as always. Thank you so much. Our next speaker is Hyon Green, who is our area director or district director.
Something like that.
Which one?
Area director.
Area director. And she's been a Toastmaster for longer than any of us that are in this meeting.
Oh,
And we're so thankful. That just means you're awesome. And we're so thankful to have her always. She's always got a pocket speech ready. And we encourage everybody, get a pocket speech ready. When you get a time like today where something happened, we don't have all of our speakers, have something that you can, in a moment's notice, you're ready to go on. Just play with it. Do something you've already done. Pull out your notes. Get better at what you've already done. When you've got an opportunity to speak, that's why you're in Toastmasters. So, Toastmaster Hyan Green, you have 5 to 7 minutes for the timer.
I can have my evaluator, Shay, to talk about my path.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Shay, you are going to be the evaluator for Hyan. Could you say a few words, please? You're in mute right now.
It's in the agenda. I just put it in, Shay. Shay, unmute yourself.
Oh, I thought I just pressed it. I have the honor of evaluating Hyan tonight. The name of her speech is entitled My New Life as Area Director. Hyan will share some stories of her brief and ongoing life as Area Director. We're eager to see this or hear this. Oh, her speech will also be from 5 to 7 minutes to alert the timer.
I have a question. I am going to ask Toastmaster Sonia Karate. Sonia, I remember when you joined the Toastmasters some time ago. When you joined Toastmasters, did you join thinking, I'm going to be area director one day? Did you think that?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. None of you is thinking, I will grow up and become the area director or the other directors. No. We joined Toastmasters to learn how to communicate better, just like Woodlyn said. So did I. I joined Toastmasters in 2011 to be able to say hello to people. But since I've been a Toastmaster for 9 years, I got to know some people, and some people got to know me. When I was competing in different competitions, when I would go to different Toastmaster events, we would network and we would get to know each other. One day in June, not too long ago, I received a phone call from Valerie, district director. She said, Hyun, would you like to serve as area director under me? I was shocked. But frankly, I was flattered. Fellow Toastmasters and Mr. Toastmaster of the evening and guests, I thought that somebody has put a trust in me, knowing or thinking rather, that I will be able to do the job. So that flattered me. And I asked Valerie to give me 2 days. I thought about it hard and I said yes. I said yes, not knowing what area director's job would be. And now I am learning it is indeed a heavy job. It's a lot of work. A lot of time is spent in serving the 5 clubs that I am supposed to serve. One of the things that we are doing really diligently right now is putting together the area contest. You think putting together a club contest is a headache? Wait until you put together the area contest. We have Excel spreadsheets to put in the data as soon as we get all the functionaries' names are confirmed. We have the winners confirmed. We have different winners confirmed. And we even have dry run to make sure that our area contests run smoothly. That's one of the things that area directors do. And serving 5 clubs apparently is not an easy job. I am learning it the hard way. But what else did I learn? Other than the fact that area directors are working hard behind the scene. I can share with you 2 things that I learned, that I am learning so far. Number 1, the foremost, that there are indeed dedicated, skilled Toastmasters who volunteer their time and expertise because they have faith in Toastmasters' mission. I was truly touched when I saw these high-performing Toastmasters showing up in each and every executive meeting and guiding us through all the steps. And there are people who are really good in technology. There are people who are really good in accounting or public relations or in coaching, mentoring. We have mentors in our club too. But there are people who don't hesitate to give up their weekends every weekend. And it was truly amazing to see these people. And here I am, I was complaining that I didn't have time. So that was one thing I learned. The different thing, the second lesson that I have learned is our guest Michelle and Woodlyn. Toastmasters is a truly organized organization. I'm learning this actually now, that there are different levels of leadership in this. I, as area director, I report to the district director, and she reports to the division director. And under each directors, there are different committees who take care of businesses. And the business meetings are a really big deal. We have 2 DEC meetings a year, DEC, DEC, that is District Executive Council meetings. When we get together, we have to approve the budget, first of all. And we talk about club growth. And the level of commitment these people bring is really touching. Sometimes our DEC meeting starts at 8 in the morning. And I get up, I barely clean my eyes of the crust and sit at the computer, and there are other Toastmasters who come suited, bow tie, and these ladies are wearing the nicest suit, and they come to the meeting fully prepared. It's really humbling, I should say, and encouraging to be able to serve the Toastmaster mission with such dedicated people. Is it all easy? No, it's not. But I am certainly learning a lot. And as the area director, I am going to do my best, of course, to help my clubs, the 5 clubs that I am serving, but I cannot wait putting my learning to my home club, Wellington Toastmasters. Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Hyan. Awesome as always. See what you got to look forward to when you stick with Toastmasters. We can all aspire to be as good as Hyan is. And what she does for the community, for her club, for everybody is just awesome. But let's hear another round of applause. Can I get a brief timers report for our speakers?
Toastmaster of the day. Both speakers were within time.
Thank you, Mr. Timer. Okay, vote counter, Ray Melendez, you want to bring up the vote for best speaker?
Sending them out now. Oop. Let's actually move it because I had Connie still on here. Let's do it after the table topic, because I have Connie on here still showing up.
Okay.
Sorry.
Toastmaster Natifa, you're our table topics master, the next part of the meeting, which is, I think, a fun part that we all look forward to. We certainly invite all of our new members, guests, everybody to get involved in table topics. And I'm sure she's got some winners for us this time. Toastmaster Natifa, thank you.
Point of order.
We're having some problems with your voice not coming through real good.
Your headphones.
It's like, it seems like a bad connection. Unplug the headphones. You did? Are they unplugged completely out of your computer? Maybe you need to log out and log right back in. And I'll start with one of the table topics. Or are you trying a different set of headphones? Wait, I'm hearing something. Talk so we know if you're working or not. Want to sing to us?
Natifa, you could also dial in. Shay, can you give her the dial-in number? She can just dial in on her phone so we could see her and she could just dial in.
Okay, Natifa, the dial-in number is 253-215-8782.
Yeah, I'll start out with a table topics question, and hopefully we can get right back to Natifa.
Brendan just put it in the chat.
Is it working right now? Oh.
No, he typed the dial-in number for you in the chat, Natifa.
Okay. So for a question, the Bible says faith is the essence of things hoped for, the substance of things not seen. Toastmaster Sonia, what does that saying mean to you? Faith is the essence of the substance, the essence of things not seen, the substance of things not understood. Now I'm forgetting it. It's been a long time since I've read that.
Okay. Good afternoon, Toastmasters, and thank you for that wonderful question, Toastmaster Jack. Faith, that's a really wonderful thought to think about and sit with these days. And what does that quote mean to me? I think faith definitely means having belief in something that you cannot always see and put your hands on at the moment, but there's some comfort that you get because you know with all of your heart, deep in your soul, that it is there and it exists. So an example might be, you have faith in a loved one, you have faith in your love, you have faith in your connection. And even if you do not see them, they are far away, or you cannot be with them right now, you know that it's real and you know that that connection exists, even if it's not tangible. And so that's what faith means to me. Thank you.
Natifa, you're on mute now. You want to come back and see if it's working? Oh, we're still not hearing your wonderful voice. Okay, I come up with another one. The theme of our meeting is reverence. Reverence means a lot of things to a lot of people. Toastmaster Shastri, what does the word reverence mean to you?
right. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and our guest, Woodland. So what does reverence mean to me? Well, it'd be wonderful if you could tell me what the definition means. I'm being serious.
Respect, a deep respect for someone, Shastri.
Okay, got it. All right. So reverence, you guys have known me for a while, and that word, I believe, exemplifies who I am. I have a very strong respect for a lot of people, regardless if they're at a lower level than me. I'm a director, for example, my housekeepers. I don't see them as beneath me. I see them as the same level. Even though I provide them leadership, even though I provide them direction, I still see them as people. My Toastmasters, I'm the president. We have VP of Education. We have a committee. We have our members. But I do not see them beneath me. I see them to the same level. The reason why is because I have a lot of respect for them and what they do. My family, even though I'm the breadwinner, I'm the man of the house, my wife is at the same level as I am. She's not beneath me. So what reverence really means to me is respect. And that is me, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shastri. As Shastri and Mark just said, reverence means respect, understanding, caring for the land around you, the people around you, the God Almighty, or wherever that thing that is most important to you and the planet and all of us is. Toastmaster Woodland, how are you reverent in your daily life?
I am reverent in my daily life by showing respect to others, helping others out. I have nothing.
How about that beautiful smile of yours? That's reverent.
Yeah. That's the end of my speech. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Toastmaster Woodland. Let's see, how much time, where are we on time? We got plenty of time. Okay. You back there, Natifa? Connecting to, try one more time there, Natifa. I'd love you to get your speech questions in there. You're still on mute. No? Unmute yourself and see if you're working it. Probably not. I guess not. Reverence is a guiding attitude on people that feel that there's an afterlife. Mr. Kessler, tell us about the afterlife.
By all means, Jack, there's been a few times I've been in the afterlife. One of those kind of places that you visit, you hang around for a while. I have a lot of reverence and a lot of faith that they pull me out of there and set me back into a new direction, new life. So as of count now, I am on 1,472 different lives, and I am very reverent to the aspect that, you know, the guy who keeps sending me back out here, you must believe I have a lot of work to do. And I do have a lot of respect for him because he's got one heck of a job that he's got to provide for this area that he covers. He's area director 243, where Hyun is area director for 5 organizations. So he's got a lot on his plate that he's got to handle. So in any case, the reason why I keep coming back here is because there is multitude of lessons for me to keep learning in my life. And I guess I keep coming back and back until I get them all done. And what I did hear at one point in time, that we actually live the lives of every person in the whole world. Could you imagine that? That we become every one of us. That's why we are all one. So it's vitally important for me to have the reverence and the respect for each and every person, because each and every person is me. And that's a really deep thought to be with, knowing that we are all one and that we all matter. In the area of afterlife, you know, it's a funny place to be in. It's one of those kind of places that it gives you time to ponder before you're set back out on your next journey. It gives you time to look at the life that you had just lived and look at all the good things and ponder about, well, what could you add? So I ask you, enjoy the life that you're having right now, because it's the real deal, and enjoy the one you have. Thank you. Mr. Toastmaster, back to you.
Okay, it looks like we have time for one more. There are places and people and books and movies that put us into a reverent state of mind. Toastmaster Michelle Gonzalez, what is a reverent state of mind to you? You're still on mute. There you go.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters, Toastmasters of the day. There's one place that I go every day. I open the book, I flip through the pages one by one, and I might accidentally land on a topic or a verse or a passage that completely transforms and illuminates my day. I stand in awe. I think about what I just read, I imbibe it, and I realize that this is where I should be. It's a quietness, it's a place of solace. It's a place where I could devote my time and spare no distractions. I love my morning devotion. It is where I become reverent. It is where I find peace, and I am able to get out of that portion of my morning joy, faith, laughter, motivation. That book that I read is called the Bible. It is funny. It is inspiring. It has every aspect of life detailed in its pages. So there is where I go every day. There is where I learn to be reverent, to have faith, to love others, to show mercy, to show compassion. Toastmasters of the day. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Michelle. So it's time to begin the rest of our meeting. I'd like to, actually, I'm going to call on the general evaluator to talk about the evaluations a little bit. And before we do the evaluations, are you ready now, Toastmaster Ray, for voting?
Actually, Shay's ready.
Shay's doing it.
She's doing it, sending it up.
Okay, we're all set for voting. So for a formal speaker, you have two choices. Knowing how efficient Shay is, I know she's ready for the
Okay, I'm ending this
right
poll
away.
now. Ray, is table topics set up as well? Or should I?
Table topics should be on Two, but we do that. I have them set up with the evaluation to be done with after the evaluation.
Okay. Okay. All right. So the poll is done. Thank you.
All right. May I please have the timer's report on table topics?
All speakers, apart from Woodland, were within time.
Thank you, Toastmaster Justin. Timer, please demonstrate the timing signal for speech evaluation.
Speech evaluations will be 2 to 3 minutes. I will show the green card at 2 minutes. I will show the yellow card at 2 minutes, 30 seconds. And I will show the red card at 3 minutes. And I will clap off the speaker just like this at 3 minutes and 30 seconds.
Thank you, Toastmaster Justin again. Without further ado, please welcome our Toastmaster of this evening, Toastmaster Micheline, evaluating speech from Stacy.
Good evening, Toastmasters, General Toastmaster, and all the guests, and especially Toastmaster Stacy. I have the privilege of evaluating her this evening. Before I connected with Stacy and I asked her to give me where there are areas that she wanted me to focus on. And she said, clarity, relatability, and a clear message. And she did that this evening. The title of itself, The Power of Gratitude. Whoa, just the title alone, it made me wanted to hear more of that. What is the power of gratitude? When we hear the word gratitude, we know kindness, we feel the emotion of love and happiness. And this evening, Stacy brought all of that to us. She showed us some gesture, rolling over. And she also said, you are ready. And she just did this. When you are ready, the gestures, all of that came out. And there was one important question. Who are you? And she leaned in and she asked that question and paused. Two things I wish, and I invite Stacy to do. She has a remarkable talent in nurturing people. That was one of the areas this evening that I didn't feel from her. And I think that she can do that a little better. Somehow I didn't feel it, even though the gestures were strong, I just didn't feel the connection when she was speaking. In another area, the camera was tilted too high. So I think she was reaching up. And that took away from me seeing her closer. And I think with a power of gratitude, we wanted to be closer, but wanted her to be closer to the camera. But the content was powerful. She gave us some great tips on that. What about gratitude and how it's connected with the mind? And if we keep doing things over and over again, it becomes a habit. So the content was perfect. The structure was perfect. The speech overall was great. And I'm looking forward to Stacy doing the speech over again and just improving in those two areas, the camera, and just putting a little more emotion and connection so we can feel, we can relate to it. That speech will be much better on the next time. Thank you, Toastmasters.
Thank you, Toastmaster Micheline. Now we have our next evaluator for this evening, Shay Greens, on evaluating High on Green speech tonight.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sujana, and fellow Toastmasters and guests. I have the honor of evaluating Heon. My camera is frozen, but I just want to make sure, am I still connected? Okay. So Hyun always does an excellent job of inviting us in through her gestures, through her tone, through her expression. It actually really takes us on a journey and draws us in. That's one thing that she excels at. I've actually learned from her in storytelling. I think throughout her speech, she did a really good job of also honing in on key points through the use of a story. So she gave us details. She gave us examples of what responsibilities look like, what structure looks like, how overwhelmed she felt, how she'd never imagined herself being at this place in her journey. That all laid out a clear picture for us. And I think it helped each individual audience member be able to identify with some part of that story, whether we're in the beginning of our journey and maybe one day behind a curtain somewhere we'll be a district a district advisor or an area, I forget the word usage, but thank you, Hyun. I would challenge you in the area of, I think you used your points came towards the end of your speech. So I would just challenge you in bringing them in earlier, maybe, so that we know the journey that you're taking us on, especially since the purpose of your speech was to tell us about being area director. So maybe laying out exactly what areas you wanted to highlight for us, maybe challenges and maybe growth points, or maybe things that you've learned early for us so that we could map out the journey with you. But overall, I think we all gained some insight and a snapshot picture of what your experiences look like right now, and are excited at the fact that there's still new levels of growth to achieve after being a part of the club, because you are the senior most member here. So there's still levels to grow and you're still reaching and obtaining. So thank you so much, Toastmaster Hyun. I look forward to your next speeches and also diving in just as you have.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shay. Now, are we ready to vote for the best evaluator? Ray or Shay?
Shay, can you set that, please? I think they should be set up, but
Should we wait till Shay comes back, I guess? Shay, can you hear us?
It is ready and I'm launching it now. It is for both best evaluator and best table topic.
Thank you.
The poll will close in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, grammarian's report. May I please have the grammarian's report? Who's our grammarian tonight?
Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Perfect. General evaluator, the word faith was properly used 4 times during the meeting. I heard some of the following grammatical errors. I noticed, and my recommendation would be for all of us to go back and watch to catch where these happen, but there's been multiple double starts where we'd use the one word and then we'd pause and use that same word again. I did notice a few ums, especially when starting sentences. I did hear a Toastmaster say, we even have dry run. I believe we meant we even have dry runs or had a dry run. I did see that there was 2 starts, or actually multiple starts, that had started with the word okay, started with the word so, and another one that had started with ums. So I believe being, as I just did with the so, being cautious of using those words when we first go to present. Sometimes it's just better to take a breath and to pause. I did notice that a Toastmaster said, I have nothing, when they ran into the speech. maybe pause, take a breath, and allow the time to go where you can feed into the next part of whatever hits your mind or until that time rolls out. And then the other portion that I noticed is we don't technically, in the official Toastmaster stand on this, is that we don't say thank you at the end of a speech. And what they actually recommend is that the audience should be thanking you for the information that you've shared instead. So rather to just close with your prepared ending, nod, and then you could say Toastmaster or Madam Toastmaster and then enjoy the applause. There were a few notable words and phrases that I came across. I love the word receivership. And then for the sentences, becoming impeccable with our words. Knowledge is for the mind and experience is for the body. Until we change our mindsets, we are living our same day every day. Feelings are the language of the body. I was shocked, but frankly, I was flattered. There are people who are willing to give up every weekend. It's really humbling to serve. It's a place of solace. Honing in on key points through the use of a story. And I believe that was all that I had. General Evaluator.
Thank you, Grammarian. Now time for our counters report. May I please have the counters report?
Generating the last piece.
Okay, all right. So let me dive into the general evaluation. Without any further ado, I want to give a shout out to Jack Miller for playing role of table topic master on top of being Toastmaster of the day. You were like so gracious and so spontaneous. If I was doing both role, I don't know what I would have said for the table topics. So thank you, Jack. Meeting did start on time. Guests were acknowledged and welcomed by Sastry. The roles were explained very well by all of us. There was a good transition between the speeches, and thank you for Hyun for stepping up to do a speech tonight. And for table topics, we all know there was a little technical difficulty, but having Toastmaster like Jack, it was very spontaneous. There was no interruption. And all the table topic participants did very well. Everybody has improved. As for the speech evaluator, let's talk about Micheline first. Micheline, I really like the way you evaluated Stacy's speech tonight. It was very heartfelt. I haven't heard many times when evaluators said, I did not feel your emotions. So that was really powerful and strong. That was a positive feedback, I would say. And then the structure, it was a perfect cookie format. Thank you, Micheline. And as for Shay Greaves, we did hear the technical sound in the background, Shay. Even though you came back, I think the sound was still there, but you were conscious about it and you made sure guests could hear you even though you were frozen at the other end. And the way you started giving your evaluation on Hyun Green for how she invites the member in each of her speech, that was really captivating the way you use it. And your feedback on providing the objective earlier so that speakers know what's coming, that was really good as well. Thank you, Shay. And a timer, all counter is still left. I think Brandon did a very good job on giving us about the grammar and how it should be done. And that would be it. That would sum up my evaluation for tonight. Back to you, Toastmaster of the Day, Jack.
Thank you, Toastmaster Susanna. Well, now it comes to one of the most important parts of today's meeting, and that is, who would like to be Toastmaster at next meeting? I'm putting my hands back down, but I've had it for 2 weeks, and I'm sad, but happy to pass it on.
I signed up for the next 2 weeks.
Who signed up?
I did, Justin. I signed up for the next 2 weeks.
Justin. Justin, thank you.
Awesome.
Problem.
Now let's all make Justin's job a little easier by going on by tomorrow and signing up for a role. The way you move forward, the way you learn is to get your feet wet and get out there and make it happen. So at this point, I'm going to call forward our Toastmaster, our president, Shastri
Jack?
Stewart. He has,
Jack, I
Jack,
could,
we
I
still
could
need-
finish up the evaluation for the county.
oh, okay, I'm sorry.
I meant to do it before Savannah finished. So the total number of fillers used today by the club is 18. The most fillers used by a member was 4. The most commonly used filler word used today was used 4 times. And the following Toastmasters did not use any filler words. That includes you, Jack Miller, Latifa, Sonia, Mark, and Stacy. That concludes my counter report.
And before you mute yourself, Ray, you have the voting, or no, I'm sorry. Shay, you've got the voting results?
Yes, I do.
Would you like to go ahead and announce
I'll
them?
do a drum roll for our formal speeches. And for our first place speaker, Stacy Kessler. Drum roll, please. We're moving on to our table topics. For our first place speaker, we have Mark Kessler.
It's a family affair.
It really is. And last but not least, for our evaluations, drum roll, please. Our first place speaker, Shay Greaves. Thank you, everyone.
Okay, that completes our general meeting for today, but we have a special treat coming up with our Toastmaster President, Shastri Stewart.
Thank you, Jack. And if you guys could put your hands together to thank Jack for doing an awesome job tonight. Hey. All right, thank you, Jack, so much for your support, sir. All right, so it's 7:59. I'll try to get this through quickly, but would like to induct 2 new members, Michelle and Mark. All right, so we'll be holding our applause, or our applauses, after the ceremony has been concluded. All right. So if the members could unmute their phone and their mic, unmute yourselves. Don't say a word, just unmute yourselves. Michelle and Mark only. Okay. Being a Toastmaster means more than simply making a commitment to self-development. Everyone who joins the Toastmasters Club is making a commitment to the club, to its members, and to the organization as a whole. Please indicate your commitment by saying "I do" to each point in the Toastmasters promise. So you're only going to do it at the end. So I'm going to read everything and then you'll say "I do" at the end, okay? As a member of Toastmasters International and Maverick Toastmasters Club, do you promise to attend club meetings regularly? To prepare all of my projects to the best of my ability, basing them on the Toastmasters education program? To prepare for and fulfill meeting assignments? To provide fellow members with helpful, constructive evaluations? To help the club maintain the positive, friendly environment necessary for all members to learn and grow? To willingly serve my club as an officer when called upon to do so? To treat my fellow club members and our guests with reverence and courtesy? To bring guests to the club meetings so they can see the benefits Toastmasters membership offers? To adhere to the guidelines and rules of all Toastmasters education and recognition programs? And to act within the Toastmasters core values of integrity, respect, and service. What is going on? Hold on 1 second. My apologies here. Okay. To adhere to the guidelines and rules of all Toastmasters education and recognition programs, to act within the Toastmasters core values of integrity, respect, service, and excellence during the conduct of all Toastmasters activities. Please say, I do.
I do.
I do.
Very good, Mark. Very good, Michelle. Mentors, it is your job to assist your mentee with their first 3 speeches, to provide support to your mentee as they perform functionary roles for the first time, and to encourage your mentee to become fully involved in the Toastmasters program at the club level and beyond. Please indicate your commitment to your mentee by saying, I will. Everybody say, I will.
I will.
I will.
I will.
All right.
I will.
New members, will you, the members of Maverick Toastmasters, pledge to support these new members in their quest for self-development, to provide them with positive, helpful evaluations, to maintain a friendly, supportive atmosphere, to give them opportunities to help others, and to make their Toastmasters membership a rewarding and fulfilling experience? If so, please say, I will. Everybody, I will.
I will.
I will.
I will.
All right, this concludes our induction. Please put your hands together for our new members, Michelle and Mark.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Woo-woo.
Welcome to the club. All right, and I have one last thing to do here. All right. So at this time, we want to take the opportunity to really acknowledge 2 members. I know Connie's not here today, but we really want to recognize her. So Jack, if you could pass on the message, or maybe she could look at the video later on. Esteemed Toastmaster Connie Andrews, Connie truly embodies the mantra, lead by example. She leads boldly in humor, in love, and in courage. You can easily find her providing support to her fellow Toastmasters via words of encouragement or volunteering extra time with the executive team. Connie has been a Toastmaster of Club Wellington since November 2017. Since then, she has delivered a total of 25 speeches, participated in over 6 different contests and leadership trainings. She took on a new challenge of embracing and then learning pathways program, serving as an available support to her fellow Toastmasters. Some noteworthy speeches were, do you have the right stuff? Tell me why you are better than the best. And her infamous rap, Hero Journey, New Beginnings. Join me in a round of applause for Connie Andrews.
Woo-woo!
All right. Our second member would like to acknowledge rising star Natifa. I'm not even going to try to pronounce your last name. Natifa visited Club Wellington around September of 2019 with a steady, bright optimism. We were intrigued by her rich accent and pleasant smile. Infused by her participation and desire to grow in public speaking, we invited her to join. In December 2019, Natifa became an official member. She wowed us with her poetic delivery of her icebreaker, being in the backseat of my life. Boldly volunteered to learn more about the responsibilities of the executive team and support where she could behind the scenes. She has now completed her first level of pathways and is consistently overcoming her fears of public speaking with grace and humility. Join me in a round of applause for Toastmaster Natifa. Awesome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. And thank you to our VP of Education for writing that script to acknowledge our members. Thank you, Shay.
That was awesome.
Awesome. So now it's 8:07. I will adjourn the meeting if we have no further announcements.
Good
Meeting
night.
adjourned. Good night, guys.
One.
Everyone.
All right, good night. Thank you.
Happy week.
This week.